less tyre wear for Kasper in terms of recon. And again, that is beginning to come prevalent because he's all over the back coming down towards Singapore's thing. 3.5 tenths of a second away. The city skyline. Rain beginning to get a little bit lighter actually out on the track. So the rain beginning to ease off as Recon, my God, he nearly makes a right howl of a mistake coming across the Anderson Bridge. So close to contact. Kasper on the back. 5.5 tenths separating, but Recon, my God. Jesus, he was close to the wall.
Well, hopefully you'll hear our lovely voices once again with only 3 laps to go here at the Singapore Grand Prix. Not entirely sure what happened, to be honest with you, but it happens. It happens. The stream just froze and it all went a bit wrong. But glad you're back now and joining us for the final 3 laps of this race. 2 and a bit if you're picky. If you've missed all of that, well, you haven't missed too much. Recon's still ahead of Kasper as James was just taking us through there. Obviously, you can see now the rain has eased off, which is probably why, James, that they didn't decide to go for the wet weather tyres in the first place. You see, the drivers always know more than us, James. As Recon getting a little bit nervous there out of the final corner. With that rain easing up here, it will be intermediate running surely to the end of this race.
Yeah, definitely. And I think obviously the Inters, everyone rightfully staying out on a set of intermediate compounded tyres. It's normally where you get a little bit of a weather slot within the race. The heavy rain comes down for about 10-15 minutes, then eases towards the end of the race. That's exactly what we have seen. Kasper on the back of Recon, 4 tenths of a second away. He was this close before he went into the back of him under the brakes. Is he going to do the same thing again? No. Recon measuring well, Kasper measuring his braking point well as well, and both of them 3.5 tenths of a second away. There's a yellow flag in sector 2 somewhere, and I have a feeling that might have been the Gort losing a position to Spike. I think he did. Yeah, damage to Gort's car completely.
Yeah, that's a heavy amount of damage to the front wing there. He's obviously made contact with the wall at turn 9. But as we now wind our way down in this Singapore Grand Prix, Recon, this is the position he wants to be in. This was the best case scenario for Recon, just finishing ahead. As you can see there, the Gort pulls way off the track there. I think that is going to be a retirement at the hairpin there.
He should keep going. He should keep going. He's in the points.
He is in the points, actually. Well, I'm not sure what's happening with the Gort. He is trying to turn his way around here. That might have been a lock-up of some kind, but now he's just trying to get his way back onto the track here. Abu's in 11th place there. That is going to be a huge battle for that final point there, as Kasper gets a 10-second time penalty. My goodness, well, I'm sure that's going to be contested. The 3-second penalties cannot be contested, but the 10-second penalty certainly can if Kasper does the right procedure at the end of this race. However, the rain, to me, is, well, it's lighter. I thought it had stopped by the camera angle I had chosen, but Recon now makes his way around the final corner to start the final lap here at Singapore, and he's just got one more lap to keep his championship hopes alive and any chance of retaining his title for the final races of the season. Only about 1 minute 50 to go.
Oh, Kasper nearly into the wall. Goodness me, I was going to say he's really invigorated to try and get onto the back of Recon. Bit too invigorated, I think. Gortz came into the pits. I would have stayed out personally if I was the Gort. He's going to lose that position to Abu. Just to speak about as well that 10-second time penalty. Never have I seen ever an unfair penalty given like that. That was never a 10-second time penalty.
Well, that might be investigated afterwards, especially if Kasper follows the procedures after this race. But what's for sure, though, is that it won't affect his position too much. The Gort has now retired from the session entirely, and we're now down to 10 runners. So as long as Cass makes it to the checkered flag, he'll score the fastest lap of the race. Bonus point there for himself and for Ferrari. Meanwhile, then Recon making his way across the Anderson Bridge and now towards turn 13. Kasper is just trying to find any way past Recon right now. Ever since that rain started to fall, Recon pitted in a lap earlier than Kasper. Kasper was really in no man's land when it came to the call there. The DRS was disabled when Kasper was in the second sector of the track, and he had to try and tiptoe his way around. He lost around 6 seconds, Kasper, to Recon on that pit window, and Kasper gets himself another 5-second penalty there for exceeding track limits. Recon here just has to keep his cool. Underneath the grandstand we go, in through turn 19, onwards towards turns 20 and 21. Recon here may have just kept his championship hopes alive as he makes his way now towards the final 2 corners. Recon wins the Singapore Grand Prix and takes the championship to the next round as the fireworks go off. He's earned that one. What a drive from the Dutchman there. Kalsper finishes in 2nd place then, which means Toxic is now out of the championship running. Westy, meanwhile, is going to take a podium here in the Alfa Romeo. A good drive from him. He kept his cool when battling Toxic, who had a damaged front wing at the start of this race, but he makes his way towards the podium there and gets a well-earned 15 points for his team. Toxic, although he's out of the championship hunt, will get clear air between himself, Shapalele and Warren as the sort of best of the rest as he makes his way towards the line. 4th place for the Red Bull driver. Navy tiptoeing his way now towards the checkered flag, as it always, when the heavens start to open, do you get that sense the race drags on, especially if you're in no man's land. But he makes his way around the final corner, and Navy will pick up a handful of points here by finishing in 5th place. Sean there in 6th place, trying to just tiptoe his way home, with Cass not too far behind. Cass, meanwhile, of course, will get the fastest lap of the race bonus point then, as he makes his way now through the final double left-hander. Sean comes across the line in 6th. Cass comes across the line in 7th and scores that extra bonus point. In fact, he moves up to 6th through penalties there. Carlsbury coming towards the line there, and of course he lost that front wing earlier on as well with that incident between himself and Toxic, but he finishes in 8th place, and Spike here will finish in 9th place. So long as he makes it to the checkered flag, he will be scoring those 2 points, and I think he's just having a little bit of fun here. He's got damage to that front wing, and he's just trying to get the rear end out whenever he can to try and drift his way through. He's still going to make the checkered flag in order to score those points. Abu finishes in 10th place, a lap down on the race leader. But your race winner here for the Singapore Grand Prix. We go again for the championship at the next round. In the meantime, Recon wins in Singapore. How crucial could those 7 points be that have been taken out of that championship lead? The gap to the leaders now comes down to 67 points. Sure, Recon will have it all to do in the next round, but for now, he's your Singapore race winner.
Fantastic race from both of them actually out on track. Kalsper is so unlucky to be picking up 10 and 15 seconds worth of time penalties, which were not deserved at all. Sure, he will contest those within the stewards room. He drove well. Got to have a big shout out as well to Toxic, finishing in 4th with his T-tray out on track. Half a T-tray in the end as well, coming across the line, but finished 4th and continued on most valiantly. And I think 4th position for everything that happened around him is an absolute godsend of results. So well done to him.
Absolutely. So it is Recon who takes the win here. Kalsper in 2nd place with Westy in 3rd. Toxic in 4th with Navy in 5th. Cass in 6th with Sean in 7th, Carlsbury 8th, Spike in 9th, and Abu rounds out the top 10. Non-finishers, the Gort, Slimbo, Warren and Shapalele. Well, what that means, James, is that we get to go to the next round to try and decide the championship there. Only this time, it's going to be a much bigger task on Recon's hand. The next race we go to will, of course, be the Russian Grand Prix for the next round of this one. That will be next week here on the channel. And don't forget as well, that with the championship standings, of course, updated 67 points between Kalsper and Recon to decide this one. And of course, don't forget, after the Brazilian Grand Prix, which is the last round of the season, we could do, of course, have the TTL F1 Challenge Cup, which is a 100% race around Silverstone. So that is going to be a cracker there. Hopefully you're going to join myself and James for what will be a fantastic 52 laps around the Silverstone circuit. But well, James, the championship marches on to Russia.
Can't wait. I think Recon is in the driving seat now coming into next week. Kalsper, of course, really unlucky, I think, picking up penalties. And just to speak about that as well, Kalsper had 3 seconds more than Recon before he got that 10-second time penalty, so the result would not have changed if Kalsper had finished second without getting that 15 seconds worth of penalties. But honestly, looking forward to it. Recon obviously taking the pole and the win last time out in Italy, and has obviously benefited from Kalsper being on pole tonight. And Carlsberg's 100% record gone as well.
Yeah, that's true as well. Only a handful of times this season has the pole sitter not won the race in the next session. But that is Recon's second win of the season, and Carlsberg has 3 wins to his name as well. So it's going to be a close one. If what I will say is that if it goes his way. Obviously 7 points between them. Even if you include the fastest lap of the race, the gap then will go down to 59 points if you include the fastest lap that Recon could get. So the cards are heavily in Carlsberg's favour as we head towards Russia. But as one legendary commentator used to say, James, anything can happen in Formula 1, and it normally does.
It normally does, and it probably will.
And it definitely will, probably. So make sure you do join us next week for the Russian Grand Prix, where it will be yet another title decider. I wonder how many races we're going to say that. This is a potential title decider. But Russia could be the chance for Carlsberg to wrap it up all over again. He'll get another attempt at it. This time, the points are much more heavily in his favour. Don't forget as well, we have TTL F1 League 2 tomorrow night, where you can join, I believe, James and Paco for that one. Correct me if I'm wrong, James?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Good. I always want to be right. And don't forget a whole host of other events. I believe CRC is on the Saturday, or am I wrong about that one?
Yeah, we've got touring cars coming back on Saturday. Myself and Ash Richardson going to be taking you through that one. Can't wait to have him in the box.
Fantastic. And again, apologies about the stream cutting out towards the end of that race. It happens. Hopefully it wasn't too much of a bore there, and hopefully Honey Badger there in charge of the graphics and the main stream and everything was able to keep you entertained with some good music. Fingers crossed that happened. But anyway, that'll do it for tonight's stream. Make sure you do tune in. Make sure you subscribe down below and click the notification bell so you don't miss a single race here on TTTV. Make sure you follow the league on Twitter as well. It's at TTL_F1. You can follow me on Twitter if you really want to, at KS McGinley, and you can also follow James as well at B52Head. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. I've been Kieran McGinley.
I've been James Head.
Take care of yourselves, and we will see you next time.